Hello everybody, my name is Dusty, and welcome to my channel. Today we're continuing on with the invasive species series, except we're not talking about a specific animal that gets released in the wild and then devastates an ecosystem. Instead, we're talking about something that's much smaller. Today, obviously, according to the title, we're talking about why you shouldn't flush your dead fish down the toilet. And while a dead fish might not be invasive, what killed it could be. Something I noticed while scavenging the internet for articles and things to use as proof of sources to you is that there is not a lot of things out there based on this idea that you should not flush your fish down the toilet. But just because there's nothing that's scientifically out there doesn't mean that there isn't something out there. For instance, we know climate change exists, but we don't know why it exists, and there are a lot of different people with differing opinions, and we're not going to get into that. But the idea is that you shouldn't flush your fish down the toilet because of what could happen. If you flush your fish down the toilet, what could happen is a pathogen or a virus or bacteria or some kind of parasite gets into the water and then affects native fish. And the reason why this is important is because native fish might not have the protection against the viruses or the bacteria or the parasites as those fish that we introduce to the ecosystem have. So they can't fight off those things, and then it ends up devastating a particular species. It's kind of like the Black Plague in humans, how once we got infected with it, it just spread. And before you knew it, it devastated the human population, and there was not a whole heck of a lot we could do about it. In law, a tropical fish, a koi, a goldfish, anything that doesn't belong in the native habitat or is a native species is called an ornamental fish. That is what the definition is by law. So when you look up something by law, it's kind of like introduction of ornamental fish into ecosystem or into United States or river or something along those lines. And even with doing that research, I could not find anything that was really relevant to this topic of why you shouldn't flush your dead fish down the toilet. But just as I said before, that doesn't mean that there isn't anything out there that could happen if you flush your fish down the toilet. We've been doing it for literally generations, and now we think we shouldn't probably do that because something could happen. And if you're like me, I don't like to take risks like that, so I probably won't flush my fish down the toilet ever again. In order to make sure that an invasive parasite doesn't infect native fish or waterways, the best thing you can do is to bury your fish. The best thing you can do is bury your fish. That way, it doesn't infect the ecosystem. Instead, it dissolves in the ground, it's gone, it gets reabsorbed into the grass and things, and basically energy goes on. But the other thing is that I found interesting where a lot of people went to go and flush their dead fish down the toilet, and they found out it was actually alive. The people that I have found generally aren't fish keepers. They just put a fish, plopped it in a bowl, thought it was dead, plopped it in the toilet, and just as they go to flush it, it starts to swim around again. And while that might seem humorous to some people, it can devastate an ecosystem. If you watched my last video all about goldfish being an invasive species because of human interaction, that is something that could contribute to that. You accidentally flush a goldfish or a piranha or something, something down your toilet, and next thing you know, we have species of piranha in the Mississippi River. The main idea here is that you shouldn't take risks that aren't worth taking. So don't flush that fish down the toilet. Instead, bury it or burn it or throw it in the trash just because it could, on the off chance it could, infect an ecosystem with some sort of parasite. And I think this is really true in a case, I don't know if you guys watch Solid Gold, but Solid Gold recently had something that just completely destroyed and killed all of her goldfish. Every single goldfish is gone. Now, if she flushed those fish down the toilets and she didn't know what caused her fish to die, then we wind up with something else on her hands. And who knows, maybe that did come from an ecosystem. Their goldfish came from water that was infected by another fish that was flushed down the drain. There's just so many things that could go wrong by flushing your fish down the toilet. So if you have experience with flushing fish down the toilet, or you know something I don't, please leave it in the comments down below. I'd love to hear it. If you'd like me to go through a topic or something, leave that down below as well. Make sure you drop this video a like, subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!